All right, so here's what I want to talk to you about today, and obviously I'll bring you the latest and the breaking news as well. As you heard Dennis say, he's off to testify in front of the Arizona legislature. Apparently there was, and it was on the tip sheet this morning, but both he and Charlie Kirk were set to speak at Arizona State University. He was censored, so was Charlie Kirk, meaning they did not want them to speak. I shouldn't say he was censored. He spoke. There was a lady that was fired as a result of that. So we'll get into some of the details of that. I'm sure Dennis has already gone over that, and obviously he would know much better than I. But I do want to talk about that a little bit in the context of this. I'm going to do something a little different today. And again, don't go anywhere. I'm going to make sure that I bring you the breaking news. The number to call into the program, 1-8-PRAGER, 776-18-PRAGER, 776. But I'm going to challenge you a little bit today. I'm going to do something that I think is out of the ordinary when it comes to the conservative movement, when it comes to Republicans. I'm going to do something that may not feel natural to you, but I think it is extremely important if we stand any chance of winning in 2024 and if we stand any chance of restoring the Constitution of the United States of America. And I do believe that we can do it. I just think that it's not going to be as easy as some would pretend. I think we're going to have to put a lot of work in order to win 2024. As bad as Joe Biden is, I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk. I'm one, and I could be completely wrong, that believes that at some point in time, Gavin Newsom is going to step in. But even if he doesn't, even if the nominee is Joe Biden, I don't believe it's going to be a cakewalk despite what you see going on all around you. The left strategy, as far as Donald Trump is concerned, or perhaps a Ron DeSantis if he gets the nomination, or another, the left strategy is to make you hate Trump or DeSantis even more than you would hate Biden. That's their strategy. Despite what he's done to the country to destroy our economy, despite the lockdowns. You notice I'm not talking about any of that stuff. And I'm a little disappointed, to be frank with you, because I don't think there's enough conservatives that talk about the mandated jabs and the forced lockdowns that were imposed upon many of our fellow Americans. And I think that's something that we should never forget, because they want to do it again. As a matter of fact, I would argue that they're working, and not argue. I know that they're working with the UN, the United States is, and I've done a podcast on it. Check out my podcast. Subscribe wherever you go to get your podcast. The Carl Jackson Show is where you go to subscribe. But I want to do something a little different. And again, I think this is a bit out of the ordinary, and perhaps you might feel a little uncomfortable with me saying this, because I am, let's face it, your favorite Christian conservative American that happens to be black. Be quiet, Sean. You don't have to say anything about that. All right, so there are 20 reasons to hate the Democrat Party. And I use that word intentionally. Carl, how can you use the word hate and call yourself a Christian? Well, we're supposed to hate evil, and I'm here to argue, or I contend, that the Democrat Party. Now, I want to be emphatically clear. I'm not a kiss behind when it comes to the Republican Party. I want you to understand that. I consider myself a Christian. I used to say conservative, but a constitutionalist, or a constitutional restorationist, an American that happens to be black. And in that order, that's what I consider myself. It is very important, in my opinion, if you say you love the United States of America, that it's important that you hate the Democrat Party. I know that sounds harsh. I know that's not what you're going to hear on radio, probably anywhere else, but you are going to hear it here on the Dennis Prager Show. The Bible teaches us to hate what is evil and to cling to what is good. I believe the constitutional America, I believe that meritocracy, I believe those are good things. I believe those are biblical things. I think faith, obviously family, the rule of law, where there's no chaos, I believe those are good things. And I believe that the left are systematically trying to undermine the United States of America and destroy absolutely everything that we hold dear. So if you're going to be motivated to fight for America, I think you have to have an enemy. I think you have to have an enemy. And I know this isn't comfortable. I get it. I understand. This isn't who we are. This isn't how Republicans roll. This isn't how conservatives roll. This isn't how Christians roll. But you have to understand the fight. You have to understand who we're up against. We're not up against the Democrat Party. We're not up against liberals. As Dennis Prager often distinguishes between the liberal and the leftist. What is a leftist compared to a liberal? Well, a liberal doesn't want segregated dorms on college campuses. A leftist doesn't mind, right? A liberal may not believe that you can stick a needle in the back of a baby's head right when it comes out of its mother's womb. But a leftist, hey, the woman has a choice, women's choice. Never mind that lady is going to suffer or have complications in the future, having another child. Never mind that woman is going to be depressed. Never mind that woman one day that radical feminist may end up in a hospital or in a nursing home all by her lonesome, dying and wishing there were children beside her to say, well done, good and faithful servant. Mom, I love you. You were amazing. But those women will be denied that opportunity because the radical leftists, the communists that have taken over the Democrat Party. I'm going to give you 20 reasons, again, to hate the Democrat Party. I know you guys have heard the breaking news, what the left is trying to do with Trump, and I want you to understand a lot of this stuff is going to come. It's always going to happen. It's going to continue to happen. This stuff is never going to cease. But yet again, the left is talking about arresting or indicting Donald Trump for yet a third time. We'll get into some of those details a little bit later. Suffice it to say, it'll happen to Ron DeSantis. It'll happen to any Republican that is a threat to the left. And frankly, I think the reason why it's happening to Donald Trump, it isn't just based upon policy, although that is part of it. I'd be lying to you if I said otherwise. So it is based on policy, but it's even more simple than that. We are dealing with the most corrupt presidency, I believe, ever in American history. And one thing that Donald Trump has that other candidates don't have is he's already seen some of the classified documents, right? He needed some of those documents for his own defense. So he already knows how the sausage was made. He already knows about the corruption. So I would argue that it isn't just about policy. And if you listen to most conservatives, it's just about policy. It's just about Trump. It isn't just about policy. It's about evil. It's about an evil presidency, a corrupt DOJ, a corrupt big tech working in cahoots with that evil president because they're all dirty and there's somebody that knows it. Sometimes things are a lot more simple than you think. Sometimes things are a lot more simple even than conservatives pretend. I'll give you some reasons to hate the Democrat Party, and I'll start with number one, just listing of names, and I won't get through all of them, but we'll return after the break because I only got a few seconds left. But let's start with this. Reasons to hate the Democrat Party. Obama, Nancy Pelosi, Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Senator Elizabeth Warren, all high cheekbones, AOC, Al Gore, John Kerry,